The day I finally spoke. I never thought silence could be so loud. Every morning it greeted me before anyone else did. Before messages, before calls, before the world. I woke up to the same ceiling with the same thoughts and the same question. What am I really doing with my life? I stayed in bed longer than I should have, not because I was tired, but because getting up felt heavy. Outside, the city was already awake. Cars moving, people rushing, dreams chasing time. And there I was, lying still, watching the fan spin slowly above me. I finally stood up. The floor was cold. Reality always is. I looked at myself in the mirror. Not broken, not happy, just there. I brushed my teeth, washed my face, and tried to smile. It didn't feel natural. I made tea and sat by the window. I liked watching people more than talking to them. Everyone looked like they knew where they were going. I wondered how they were so sure. I remembered being a child. Back then, I talked a lot. I asked questions. I told stories. I laughed loudly. Somewhere between then and now, I learned to stay quiet. Not because I had nothing to say, but because I was afraid. Afraid of saying the wrong thing. Afraid of sounding stupid. Afraid of being ignored. So I chose silence. It felt safer. I picked up my phone. No new messages. I told myself it didn't matter, but deep down it always does. I left the house with no real plan, just a walk. The street smelled like dust and fresh bread. A shopkeeper was opening his store. A bus driver was shouting destinations. Life was loud again. I walked slowly, letting the noise pass through me. At a crossing, I stopped. An old man stood nearby selling balloons. Bright colours, red, blue, yellow. No one was buying. He smiled anyway. That confused me. How could someone smile when no one noticed them? I walked past him, but something stayed with me. I entered a park I hadn't visited in years. The benches were old, the trees taller. Time had moved forward without asking me. A woman sat nearby talking on the phone. "I'm fine," she said, but her eyes said otherwise. I wondered how many people lie just to sound strong. I sat on a bench and closed my eyes. For a moment I listened. Birds, footsteps, wind. I realised something strange. The world was talking. I just wasn't answering. I opened my eyes. A memory came back. The first time I raised my hand in class, my voice shaking, my heart racing. People laughed. Not loudly, but enough. That day I learned something dangerous. Being quiet hurts less. Or so I thought. I stood up and kept walking. I entered a small bookstore. The smell of paper felt comforting. Stories lived here, thousands of voices, all speaking without fear. I picked up a book and flipped through pages. Words have power. They travel where voices sometimes can't. A thought came to me. What if I write what I can't say? It scared me. But it also excited me. I bought a notebook, plain cover, no design, like me. I went home. The room felt different now, still quiet but not empty. I opened the notebook. The page was blank. So many times blank pages stopped me. They felt like judgment. But this time I picked up the pen. My hand shook. I wrote one sentence, then another. Nothing special, nothing deep, just honest. I wrote about my fear, about silence, about feeling invisible. The words didn't judge me, they listened. Hours passed. I didn't notice. When I finally looked up, it was dark outside. I felt tired, but lighter. That night, I slept without fighting my thoughts. The next day, I wrote again, and again. Some days the words came easily. Some days they didn't come at all, but I kept trying. One evening, I shared a small piece online. I almost deleted it. My finger hovered over the screen. What if no one cares? What if they laugh? I posted it anyway. Then I waited. Minutes felt like hours. Then a notification appeared. I feel the same way. Thank you for writing this. You described my life. I stared at the screen. Strangers, but not strangers. People who felt like me. I realized something important. When you speak honestly, you never speak alone. I started sharing more, not for likes, not for fame, just to be heard, and to let others know they were heard too. I noticed changes, small ones. I started talking more, asking questions, sharing opinions. My voice still shook sometimes, but I didn't stop. One day someone asked me, "How did you become so confident?" I smiled. "I didn't," I said. "I just stopped hiding." Life didn't suddenly become perfect. I still had bad days, quiet days, doubtful days. But now I faced them differently. I understood something I wish I had learned earlier. Confidence isn't loud, it's honest. Bravery isn't fearless, it's trying anyway. Silence isn't peace when it hides your truth. I walked past the old park again. The balloon seller was there. This time, a child was buying one. The man smiled wider. I smiled too. Some things don't change, but some things do, only when we do. If you're listening to this, reading these words, watching this story, maybe you're quiet too. Maybe you have words stuck inside you. Let them out. Write them, speak them, share them. Not everyone will listen, but someone will. And that is enough. This isn't the end of my story. It's the beginning. And maybe it's the beginning of yours too. Learn English easily every day. Follow for daily English stories. Subscribe, Easy English Daily Learn. Do like and share with your friends.